Hi, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and I am here for an album review, this time for Slipknot's new album, We Are Not Your Kind. Now, I was definitely looking forward to this album, after I heard the few singles that came out prior to the album. Let's just say the singles really gave me some high hopes for this album, and, the album was just shaping up to be very good overall. And I just gotta say right off the bat that this album did not disappoint. Now, I would say that maybe this is their best album. I don't know. It's probably either their best since the early days, like Iowa, or maybe even All Hope Is Gone, which I know a lot of people really don't like that album, but I actually do like that album a little bit. I think it's pretty underrated in Slipknot's catalog. So, yeah, with this new album, We Are Not Your Kind, I mean, nonetheless, it's a great album. It's definitely better than The Gray Chapter, which I thought was probably their weakest. But that's not saying much because I don't think Slipknot has ever released anything bad. Now, for this album, We Are Not Your Kind, I'm not going to be going over every single song, of course, but if there is a song that you would like to know my thoughts on that I did not mention in the video, you can, of course, go ahead and let me know about that down in the comments. So, yeah, of course, Unsated was the first single release for this album, and yeah, it's definitely a really good tune. It's not one of my favorites, but it is a good song, and I can see why they chose it as a single. And it's got that sort of, I guess, commercial appeal to it. It's very melodic, but it's also pretty heavy in its own nature. Now, as for the songs Red Flag and Orphan, these are some really heavy tracks that should please the fans of Iowa. Got some hard-hitting riffs, and yeah, this is probably one of the heaviest albums that Slipknot came out with in a while. Now, there are still some songs on this album if you are a fan of Slipknot's more, I guess, commercial side. Of course, like A Liar's Funeral and My Pain. If you're a fan of the All Hope Is Gone era of Slipknot, I think these tracks might do something for you, since I consider that the more, I guess, commercial era of the band, even though, like I said, I do like that album. Now, as for the closing track, Solway Firth is definitely one of my favorites on this record. It always has been. Ever since it came out as a single, I've pretty much always liked it, and it's still a great song that holds up. And does it really work as a closing track? Probably not. It's very rare when bands choose closing tracks as a single. That usually just doesn't happen, but for some reason Slipknot decided to do it with their new album, and I mean, even though I don't think it works as a closing track, it's very good, I'd say. So yeah, overall, this album, it's got this sort of sinister vibe to it that I just really, I really like, and I felt like, this was like the mood of Slipknot that we've kind of missed from The Gray Chapter, in my opinion. And I do think that this album has a good mix of the melody and the aggression. And I can kind of see maybe a lot of songs on this album appealing to fans of metalcore. Like, if the majority of what you listen to is metalcore, I can definitely see this album being an appeal for those people as well. And yeah, it's a heavy album. It's definitely their heaviest in a while. And yeah, I was not disappointed in it. So yeah, I figured I'd bring this review to you guys. I know it was rather short. Sorry about that. But I just wanted to get my point across, and you know what? I'm very happy with this album. Slipknot actually came out with a very good album this time around. Now, like I said, I thought The Gray Chapter was pretty good, but their weakest, I'd say. But as for We Are Not Your Kind, it's a great album. If I were to give it a score, I'd give it an 8.7 out of 10. It's definitely a great album. I'll definitely be going out and looking for the CD at some point, so yeah, let me know what you guys think of the new Slipknot album, We Are Not Your Kind. I think it's really good. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Take Take care.